Hello, trading is closed on 22nd of August 2022. Let's start with our disclaimer, go over our calls, and then make some predictions. This is my trading plan for tomorrow, which is August 23rd. Please remember I can be wrong, and any trade you make should be at your own risk. Look for the pattern with the early high, which is this, and tomorrow should have the early low. I said the most likely thing was a gap and a prompt move outside the day's range. We certainly got that. I said unless we gap down smartly, we should see 42, 40, 51. A couple of people pointed out to me this was a mistake, and they were right. So we'll just forget this. As far as today is concerned, it doesn't change anything because we gap down, but this I made a mistake when I came up with this target. As I said last week, I didn't have my usual amount of time to analyze things, but I don't think that's an excuse. I just goofed on that one. Here's what we said. Gap and prompt move outside the day's range. And bears needed to gap down, so they did that. That's what they had to do. Tomorrow's pattern has the early low. During the day, we got a sell signal in the afternoon that certainly worked, but the minimum target printed immediately. Now, you don't have to stop at the minimum, but as far as MEJT was concerned, it just said this move doesn't have to retrace. Doesn't mean it won't, just doesn't really have to. This is the weekly chart. Here's your TDST line, your support resistance. 1 bar, which is a weekly bar, past the line. So 1 bar past the line we're going to call resistance. 1 bar under the line we're going to call support. This is your 89-week moving average. Tends to separate bear from bull moves, and we're kind of fiddling around the average now. Well, this is the count I'm using. I have this in a fourth wave of some degree. I said yesterday the fourth wave wasn't over. It has a ways to go, but when everything is played out, I think the fifth wave of this pattern should take us over 5,000. Of course, we have to finish the fourth wave first, and things can change, but that's what the pattern's calling for now. A few people apparently thought I said we'd go to 5,000 immediately, forgetting the fact that I said we'd finish the fourth wave first. And all I can say is if you don't understand what I'm saying, don't risk your money. Let's take a look at what's going on here. Well, we counted 5 waves up. This is the range of the fourth wave of prior degree. It's at least possible to count 5 waves down here. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5. The fibs all work. Now I think we're in a fourth wave, and fourth wave is a 3-wave structure, and that's a 5. So it could be wave A of wave 4. Not thrilled with the count, but it doesn't break any rules. And if you look at the fibs, there's wave 5, which is a perfect fit, 23.6, and wave 1's a perfect 50%, so at least it has that going for it. The real critical thing here is we had a big drop, dropped all day, but the close was over all intraday lows. That's a sign of the drop running out of steam. Now, time doesn't run out until tomorrow's open. If tomorrow's open is a gap and we promptly undercut these lows, it means it's not run out of steam and the whole bullish significance of this pattern goes away. But if we can't take these out early, if we don't gap and take these lows out early, we should trade higher, even if we don't close higher. Well, tomorrow's pattern has the early low. We could still gap up. Typically, it's a rally day and has a final hour high, but if it's weak, we should see more weakness in the days to come. We declined all day long, still couldn't manage a close under intraday lows. So if that's maintained at tomorrow's open, it should lead to higher prices regardless of how we close. If we gap and promptly undercut the low, that pattern's killed. Tomorrow is a change in trend day based on the work of two other people, each of whom uses a different methodology. It's also possible to count 5 waves down. Now, the evidence for a short-term low here isn't quite as convincing as I would like, and I still think we're in a fourth wave by my count. But that being said, recovery is at least possible tomorrow. If this does hold and we start up, the pattern tends in many cases to be a rally all day long. In that case, I would give more credence to 5 waves down, but I'd like a bit more evidence than we have before standing in front of a move like this. We'll just say this is a candidate for a low. We'll say that the fibs work. We'll say tomorrow's daily pattern tends to be positive, and we'll say other people have tomorrow as a day of a change in trend. So if we're going to have a recovery, at least it has stuff going for it. I'd like more evidence, but that might be enough. Tomorrow has the early low, and that's today's call.